Good, hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or are watching the channel for the first time, why it is called Uncommon Sense, because it's where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I also need to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled. What does that mean? That means that if you are not a subscriber, if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to become a subscriber in order to enter your comments. It is my attempt to try to control the movement of the trolls. First of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed from the channel, whether it be from the beginning or just recently. I really appreciate that all of you have given me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. So we're going to get into our main topic soon. But before that, we're going to have another edition of In My Words. Okay. To be perfectly honest, I have a great many things on my mind. Let's first of all let's start with the fact that we're soon going to be entering into another election season where we're going to select um, who's going to be president and vice president of this country. One thing I have noticed that it seems like, at least in the last presidential election that we had in 2020, the two main candidates were over the age of 70 years old. Okay. Joe Biden is 80 years old, and Donald Trump is in his 70s. I think he's 75 or 76, something to that effect. Okay. So basically, it was the battle between two grumpy old men. Okay. I'm going to say something that I never thought I was going to say, but after some considerable thought and some reflection, I'm going to say it anyway. I think there should be an age limit as far as being able to run for political office. Also, this brought about when Senator, well, former Senator Feinstein, who was a senator from California, she was in her, she's approaching her, she's in her 80s, and I think approaching her 90s, and there have been many health issues, which I believe led her to resign. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, when it comes to politicians, they tend to stay there for quite some time, and then next year, the longer that they serve, the more detached they become from the constituents that they claim to represent. So this is what I'm going to say, and again, I never thought I was going to say this. I think there should be an age limit regarding the candidates, whether it be for Congress, whether it be for the Senate, whether it be for the president, or whether it be for any political office. Okay. And then let's keep it real. It's our time. It's become close to our time, and in fact, maybe that time that we of the baby boomer generation need to pass the baton to the younger generation, which is the Gen Z and the Generation Y people. Okay. Now, some people may get a little bit tiffy, tiff regarding it, but the fact of the matter is this: we need to prepare. We need to prepare the new generation of leaders, and the younger generation must have an opportunity to run for office and see what they can do, and maybe they can come up with some better solutions, at least better than what the solution we have now. Okay. Number one. Number two, this rush for censorship. Okay. For those of you who may or may not remember, my first stream that I did was had to do is the censorship in YouTube. Okay. Now I have issues when people try to restrict freedom of speech unless it's and there are examples where you do need to reduce the level of amount of free speech, mainly in war. Okay, so you do have the government to speak, and and it's one thing to restrict freedom of speech. The other thing is responsible use. Okay, because yes, we do have, well, at least in theory, we have the freedom of speech, but there's also a responsibility that comes along with it. Okay. And that's something we need to bear in mind. Now, the final thing that I'm going to be talking about, and this is something that when YouTube creators decide to re-upload past streams, okay, first of all, I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Each YouTube creator, YouTube, how they conduct their first comes their preference. Now, one YouTube creator actually devoted, I think, a 4 or 5 hour stream regarding a stream that Gigi recently uploaded Okay. Newsflash, everybody. Everyone, and I repeat, everyone has the right to govern platforms as they see fit. Okay. If you do not like the content, there's a simple solution. Don't watch it. Okay. And let me just remind everybody there are literally hundreds of thousands of YouTube creators here in these YouTube streets, and you can virtually find almost anything that you wish to, to partake in. So if there's a YouTube creator or creators that you don't like or you have an issue with, you know what? Don't consume their content. And I would say the same thing regarding my content as well. So, and I apologize because I usually don't get into a monologue. It's just that this is still things on my mind. And as far as censorship is concerned, I'm going to be discussing that a little bit further on my stream on Friday night when we have our stream regarding open discussion. So that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Okay. As you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is TikTok owned by the Chinese government? I think a more direct question is TikTok governed by the Chinese government or influenced by the Chinese government? Now, the reason why I am discussing this topic tonight, it came to not only to my attention, but the attention of many people that in the state of Montana, they have banned the TikTok app. Now, as of 2024, anyone in the state of Montana found to have the TikTok app on their, whether it be on their devices or on their tablets or or any other electronic equipment, they are subject to a fine of $10,000. I don't know about you, but to me, that is very extreme. Okay. And I see here we have the Anthony report. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. And let me just let everybody know that the Anthony report has his YouTube channel. And he does produce a great deal of content. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to his channel and check out his content. Okay. Now the reason, this is the reason alleged why the state of Montana has decided to ban the TikTok app. Concerns regarding national security and also regarding concerns that the Chinese can look up our information in the internet. Now I have a couple of problems with that. First of all, in all fairness, we don't know if that is the case. Okay, it is. So at this point, all we can say it is alleged. Number one. Number two, it becomes an issue of freedom of speech. Okay. I've used TikTok quite a bit. Okay. I use TikTok because basically I would load up content, where I would load short videos giving like a motivational message or a greeting or things of that nature. Also, I would use TikTok as a means to announce regarding future streams. It's just one of the tools that I use in the toolbox. Of course, I use other means, like I'll use my community tab or I will send links to maybe 10 to 15 individuals that I follow in Instagram. So at least 10 to 15 people are aware that I'm going on. Okay. And there's some content that's good, there's some content that's not good. Okay. Uh, any social media is not good, no bad. It all depends on how you use use the source of media. Okay. There are many people that will use social media for something positive, maybe like a positive message, or maybe share a human interest story, things of that nature. And then there are those who use social media like TikTok for silly and inappropriate things. Okay. The last time I checked, if you don't like something on a form of a platform, you can just scroll it. You can just scroll. I mean, this whole business of trying to ban an app for fear of national security, really? Another problem I have with this ban is that the state of Montana is assuming powers that's meant for to be exercised by the federal government. Also along with freedom of speech. And I wouldn't be surprised if any time with anytime soon when cases like this will go to the Supreme Court, and then the 9 people in robes will make a determination whether or not this ban should stand or should be overturned. So we will have to wait and see regarding. What I will do is whenever there's updated information regarding that situation, you will see it here. Okay. Now, there is a great deal of speculation and belief that TikTok is owned by the Chinese government. So what I've done is I have going to share out some articles. Hopefully, my computer will cooperate. Also, I want to let people know that the link is in the chat if you wish to join the panel to express your point of view. Okay. You can say you can say that what I'm saying makes sense, or you can say what I'm saying doesn't make any sense. That's perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is hopefully my computer, so I can share my screen. Just give me a moment. Okay. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the article as far as why does the U.S. see a Chinese-owned TikTok as a security to spell the image loading. Here we go. It came out 4th of this year. And the name of the article, why does the Chinese own TikTok as a security threat? So let's see what. And okay, U.S. lawmakers have grilled TikTok CEO. Now, please forgive me if I mispronounce these names because they're Oriental. Okay, hello? Hello? Okay, I apologize. For some reason, I was accidentally kicked off my own screen. Uh, I'm going to see if I can try sharing my screen again. Please bear with me. Okay. I apologize. It's unfortunately I'm having some technical difficulties. Okay. You know what I'm do? Okay, hello? Hello? Okay. I'm just gonna read it because of technical difficulties. I apologize. So as I stated before, there's 150 million U.S. citizens that actually uses the app. Okay, let's see. And actually, it was created by a company called ByteDance. Okay. Now, one of the major concerns is that Western governments worry Chinese authorities could force ByteDance to hand over TikTok data on American users, exposing sensitive information. Foreign Ministry spokesman Mao Ning said Friday that Chinese government has never or never asked companies to collect or provide data, information, or intelligence held in foreign countries, adding the U.S. has not provided any evidence so far to prove that TikTok threatens U.S. national security. ByteDance says 60% of its shares are owned by non-Chinese investors such as U.S. investment firms Carlyle Group and Kohlberg Kravis Roberts, and Japan's SoftBank Group. Employees own 20% and its founder the remaining 20%. Some details of relationship between TikTok and ByteDance remain unclear. Now, this is what the Chinese rules causes Western governments to be concerned. China's 2017 National Intelligence Law states that any organization must assist or cooperate with state intelligence work, while a separate 24 says relative organization may not refuse to support an investigation. By these rules, if Chinese authority acts to turn over data. Laws and regulation are only one aspect of the Communist Party's pervasive control. There are no legal limits on the party's powers. The authorities can also threaten to cancel licenses, conduct regulatory or tax investigations, and use other penalties to compel compliance by Chinese and foreign companies operating in China. The party sometimes convey orders using window guidance or informal communication in private. It has been used to crackdowns to tighten control over technology companies and force them to align with its goals. The Chinese government has also sought more direct control over companies by getting seats on board of directors. Now, here's an interesting question. Must TikTok turn over data if the Chinese government says so, even with Project Texas? TikTok has promised to protect data on American users by storing it on servers operated by an outside contractor, Oracle Corp, which is known as Project Texas. Chu, the TikTok CEO, said all new U.S. user data is stored in the United States, and the company should finish deleting all the U.S. data from non-Oracle servers this year. Excuse me. The fear is that ByteDance will have to hand over information it obtained from TikTok in order to do so by Chinese authorities, but Chu has said that Project Texas will put its U.S. data out of China's reach. ByteDance disclosed in December that 4 employees gained access to data about reporters and people connected to them while looking at how information about the company was leaked. Chu told the lawmakers China-based ByteDance employees may still have access to some U.S. data, but it won't be the case once Project Texas is complete. And we also have the presence of Golden Goddess. Good evening, GD. Thank you very much for stopping by. And let me let everybody know they have multiple platforms. Among them, she performs a podcast with multiracial movement called Tiwa Multi and Me. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so, please subscribe to Golden Goddess's channel. And she also have membership for $5 a month. You will be able to obtain let me see what's this one thing. Response to private chats and also access the content that only members can achieve. So I would encourage you to consider doing that as well. Okay. And the topic for tonight is TikTok owned by the Chinese government? Okay. In November, TikTok's head of privacy for Europe said some employees in China had access to information about users of Britain and the European Union. Now, this brings up an interesting question. Does the Communist Party have any influence on ByteDance? Now, for the benefit of those of you who are just tuning in, ByteDance is the company that actually owns TikTok. In Thursday's hearing, lawmakers repeatedly tried to pin down truth on whether ByteDance has linked to Chinese communist rulers. He deflected questions about whether staff and top executives are Communist Party members. I do not know the founder himself is not a member of the. I do know that I do know that the founder himself is not a member of the Communist Party, but we do not know the political affiliation of our employees because we're not. It's not something we ask. Chu said. When questioned whether ByteDance was effectively controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, Chu said he disagreed. After a lawmaker said the Communist Party holds a golden share in ByteDance that allows it to control one ByteDance board seat, Chu said that's not correct. In China, the so-called golden shares held in official investment funds are one way for Beijing to gain more oversight over business by giving them a 1% stake in companies. Chu pushed back when lawmakers claimed that the Communist Party owns shares in ByteDance and gives in a vote in how the company is run. The Communist Party doesn't have voting rights in ByteDance, Chu said. ByteDance's main Chinese subsidiary is the license holder for some of its video and information platforms that only serve the China market. And the next question, what is Douyin and what is TikTok relationship with it? And again, if I mispronounce these names, please forgive me. My primary languages are English and Spanish, not Chinese. Douyin is ByteDance short video platform for the China. TikTok content is restricted by Chinese censorship rules that prohibit material deemed subversive or pornographic. A point emphasized by U.S. lawmakers worried about the harmful content viewed by younger people. The Communist Party's extensive internet filters block most users in China from seeing TikTok. ByteDance has said TikTok has no affiliation with Beijing ByteDance technology company. The subsidiary that operates Douyin, Tuyong, a news and short video platform, and other services. Now, the next question is, how did China react to TikTok CEO's Washington's testimony? Most of the social media reactions in China was sympathetic to Chu, with praise for how he handled the hostile questions lobbed at him. Comments on Douyin and microblogging platform Weibo were critical of U.S. lawmakers for asking Chu leading or trap questions. Many commenters use a Chinese saying that means, if you want to accuse someone, there's always a way. And we're going to park it here. Okay. So that the whole point of the article, trying to give it some content. The very least, through his own of ByteDance, it is influenced by the Chinese government. Okay. Now, my question, again, I mean, for any state or local government to ban an app, okay, and to fine $10,000 for its citizens for downloading an app, that's very excessive. And like I said before, I wouldn't be the very least surprised that it goes to the Supreme Court. Okay. However, I will, when there's more information behind it, it'll be given here. Now, I'm going to try to share another article. Hopefully, I won't get kicked out of StreamYard. Let's see if I can. Okay. Now, okay. Just give me a moment, please. And I see we have Irby in the chat. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. Let me just see. So this is an out of here a Newsweek. The viral video sharing TikTok being dogged by social media app has close ties to Chinese government, communist government, sparking fears of the U.S. and beyond. Concern have focused on allegations that the tech could prove to be a national state to influence or gather intelligence and data, even though it does not own the app itself or its parent company. Now, TikTok is a video sharing for includes produced. Usually the clips are just 15 seconds long, but usually can post 10 minutes. And there's a Chinese. Now there's a Chinese version of the app, which was launched in China in 2016. Okay. Now there was a merger. Then I'm looking at the video site. Exponentially since it became the fourth most popular on Facebook. According to data companies, the U.S. may 136,500,000 Americans engaged with the app. 74 million. TikTok is Chinese owned. It's not available. It's almost identical sister called Douyin. Influence marketing hub. Like that. So let's just go scroll this down. Now, obviously, all over the world, with the largest being in Los Angeles. Okay. In November this year, the company's founder, Chinese control over China tech sector and ramp up pressure of its entrepreneurial bosses support him reaching information. These were the Communist Party does the owner share in the business. Okay. There is fear that this private campaigns. The UK Parliament deleted its own team. So they have this launch plan potential data passed to the Chinese government. A spokesman company will be happy to clear up any inaccuracies about the platform. Okay. Ban TikTok altogether, along with more than 3 apps in 2020. Indian government spoke activities which are prejudicial to the sovereign and integrity of India. In 2020, then President Donald Trump also flirted with the idea of banning TikTok, citing security fears. Although the ban considered remain undiminished, with a fan in June this year when the audio of internal TikTok revealed. Okay, hello? Hello, I apologize. Unfortunately, technical difficulties. Well, let me just first of all acknowledge the fact that Irby is in the chat and the intro to Borika is in the chat. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for stopping by. And let me just let everybody know that the intro to Borika have his own YouTube channel with the same name. Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. If my sound is bad, put a 2, please, because I need to know. But let me just give you my take when it comes to this issue. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, are there concerns? Yes. Okay. But let's keep it real. Anyone, and I repeat, anyone can anyone can gain access to your information, okay, without you knowing, okay? But that's the reason why you need to be diligent when it comes to your personal data. Weeks ago, someone hacked into my Facebook account, and people got a whole bunch of messages stating that someone had passed away. And actually, a couple of people actually got a message stating that I have died, which is why I had to do a couple of things. First of all, I had to change my password in my Facebook account. And I also did a stream here on YouTube called I Am Not a Ghost, I'm Alive. And I actually came up to let people know that, no, I am alive, okay? Unfortunately, we are living in a time where people will try to gain access to your data, okay? Which is why we all need to be diligent. I think the case has been made. that TikTok is owned at least indirectly, by the Chinese. However, the question remains: should TikTok be banned? Okay, unless there is proof, I would say no. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. First of all, I mean, there are ways when you can secure, you can secure your personal data. I mean, and I would encourage anyone that has any type of social media, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of any social media account, keep a close eye on your content. And I do mean keep a close eye on your content. Okay. And make sure that no one is able to gain access uh, to your data. And one thing you can do on a regular basis, um, keep updating your password. Okay. So these are things that you can do in order to prevent people from getting access to your data. Now, I have spoken, well, maybe put it this way: I have spoken for quite a bit of time. Okay. So I'm going to, now, if there's anybody that wishes to join the panel, by all means, do so. Okay. If anybody wishes to add any further comments, you're more than welcome to do so as well. If no one wishes to add any, any comments or enter any, okay, um, any comments or join the panel, I will start to wrap it up. Okay. So, but and again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. That's what happens when you try to do a couple of things at the same time. And again, it's unfortunate that a couple of times this evening I was accidentally knocked out of my own stream. So what I'm gonna say, let's see, what I'm gonna say is the following: I don't agree with the ban. I do not. Okay. Now, can there be safeguards in place to make sure that no foreign government gains access to our information? Yes. But an outright ban? No. That I disagree with 100%. And one thing that we must bear in mind, okay, if we allow one platform to be banned, what's stopping the government from banning Facebook? What's stopping the government from banning Twitter? What's stopping the government from banning YouTube? Okay. And that's something that I wish those who are in favor of banning the app would take into consideration. Okay. But what I would do, um, I'm going to change the focus just a little bit, and I'm going to be discussing regarding tomorrow's stream. Okay, which we're going to continue talking regarding the remarks that Ebony K. Williams made. Okay, now what she has said had created a great deal of controversy. Okay. And it also created a great deal of backlash. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and examine the backlash which she has endured. And the question is going to be, is it well deserved? Or is this people getting into their emotion and their feelings? Okay. I'm not going to enter my judgment until we discuss it tomorrow night. Okay. What I will do is discuss, okay, and I see here we of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host nor the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host or the channel is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your right to your image. Some of the views that people may have may be considered offensive. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. So now I'm going to bring in. Good evening.
Good evening, Don José. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. It's just that I was watching, I was listening to what you were saying, but it's just that um, it, I'm not trying to put it down, but you are kind of like breaking up a lot tonight. But yeah, I was able to catch some of what you were saying.
You know
Uh,
what? It is. Yeah.
yes.
So what's your views about the whole thing?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. When it comes to the whole thing about the about TikTok, you mentioned in one of the articles that you were saying that there are kind of like international investment into TikTok. Let's not make let's make no mistake. I mean, the Chinese government controls that. They control that, and they just made something that is fun for the kids to use. But hell yeah, they're using that as a way to monitor what's going on this side of the world. At least the government, the government is watching. The government is monitoring what we're
Mm-hmm.
doing, and they are just kind of like gathering data, but they're not gathering anything that they can't gather on some other means, some other platforms. Because let's say that they were to ban TikTok. Let's say that they could do that. I mean, tomorrow they do that today. In like from tomorrow, 3 days from now, there is gonna be an equivalent. There's gonna be an equivalent platform, and it's gonna be the same thing all over again. Um, as a security threat, I don't see how. I don't see how. I mean, yeah, it is controlled by the Chinese government and they are monitoring us, but the populace over here is volunteering. Is volunteering to upload all of these videos and the stupid TikTok dances. I wish that they will stop doing that. Now, I'm not on the platform itself. I'm not on it myself. Um, but I don't think it will make much of a difference if it were to be banned because they say something. The politicians are saying something about TikTok being a security threat, but they're not explaining how 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 is it a security
Yeah.
threat. Now they can bring up things that the Chinese get accused for when it comes to them trying to hack into the Pentagon. That's bad. That's bad. I would not condone something like that, but you have to understand in the position that the Chinese are at, because it, there are very few places where the Chinese government actually have a presence. Very few places. But if you look at at maps that show you all of the United States military bases that we help pay for, you're gonna find that China is surrounded by them. There are many, there are many military bases that are very close to the border. That are very close to the border with China. So they're surrounded by a United States military presence, and the Chinese know that. They know that. That's why that may be why they keep trying to hack into the Pentagon, trying to get all the data that they can from the government. That will make it not necessarily right, but it will make it understandable. I'm not saying it's right, but given the situation, if you look at it as to the why, because there is always something, there is always a why. Why a certain country is doing what they're doing, why a certain government is doing what they're doing. There is always why. The only thing that there might not be a real why will be the U.S. foreign policy. The U.S. foreign policy is basically sticking its nose on everybody else's business, and we pay for it. I mean, you know, then nobody better come at me with some if you don't like it, you anti-American. No. I mean, as a citizen, as a citizen and a taxpayer here, I have a right to have a criticism for the government, because that's the criticism I'm having. It's with the government. If one is a citizen of a government that we know is actually acting in an imperialistic manner, we have a right to say something about that. We have a right to have a criticism. So that's how I look at it. That's my take on it. I mean, yeah, TikTok could appear as a way for the Chinese government to monitor what we're doing over here, but we're giving up those videos. We're willingly uploading to that platform. So all of that data goes to them to do whatever it is that they want to do with them. And as a security threat, I don't know, because for it to be a real security threat, it's not because they're watching some kids doing stupid dances. That I don't see how is that a security threat. I don't see it. Hacking into the Pentagon is something else, but yeah, why would they do that? I already mentioned one possible reason as to why they try to hack into the Pentagon. So yeah, that's how I look at it. Yeah. I don't think it's an immediate threat, because threats will be something that affects directly the government.
Yeah. Well, I happen to be active in TikTok. Okay. The difference is I don't do any dancing. First of all, I can't dance to save my life. Let's keep it real. Okay. So, but what I do is I'll
hair because it causes more grays. Instead, reverse your hair color.
Sorry about that. I mean, I have dealing with my computer over here.
Okay.
Okay.
So instead, what I'll do is I'll post like quick, short little messages, usually positive messages. That's how I use my TikTok account, and also to let people know regarding my upcoming streams, because I have multiple ways of letting people know. Okay, I have TikTok, I have my other social media platforms, which I let people know about my upcoming streams and positive messages. I also have a community tab. So, but what really troubles me is that the state of Montana banned TikTok effective next year. And anyone that's caught with the app has to pay a $10,000 fine.
I don't think. Nah, That's not gonna hold up. That's not gonna hold up because they could bring that up to some type of federal lawsuit, and so something under the First Amendment, kind of like access to apps, access to information. I mean, they don't have a real argument against the platform itself. They will have to really prove it, and I because they can take that situation, they can take it to like a higher court, or even to no, I don't know about the Supreme Court, but some type of federal judge or federal court. There are levels to it. That can be appealed. That they can sue the state for it. Some kind of legal action can be taken against that. I don't think that's gonna hold up. That may not hold up. I don't think that's gonna be permanent. Yeah, they made a decision on the state level, but that's something that can be overruled. It can be overruled by a federal judge.
Well, one thing I will be doing is I'll be keeping a close tabs on what's going on in Montana. So don't be surprised that on Uncommon Sense at some point in the near future, whenever there's any information regarding this ban, that you would hear it here. So so what do you think? So now I know you did state that you're not into TikTok. Can you tell me why?
No, I know that it's not just because of the whole thing, because so many of the stupid TikTok dances find their way on Instagram and maybe even onto YouTube, but that's not the only reason. It's because you know that there are certain apps, there are certain platforms that had to do specifically with they're kind of generational. For somebody like myself, we had Facebook, and temporarily we had what was called MySpace. If anybody remember what was that, I think that
Oh
I think
yes.
the site still exists. But maybe it's kind of like a niche thing now for musicians. I think it is. So I looked into it. I never got into it, but I knew of its existence. I did get more into Facebook. I don't use it as much anymore, but it still has a bit of a use for me. I mean, because it has helped me stay connected with certain people, even extended family, and so on. That's the only platform that they use. But when it comes to TikTok, it's a bunch of kids. It's a bunch of like Gen Z, maybe millennials. It's for the same reason that I never got into Tumblr. Tumblr was infamous for being kind of like a cesspool of far left, overly liberal, and liberal stuff that I wouldn't agree with it. So there was no point into me getting into that. A lot of green hair, purple hair garbage. It's a cesspool. It was infamous for being a cesspool of that. But also, when it comes to TikTok, it's also it's a different generational cesspool. It's another type of cesspool. I mean, uh, people arguing back and forth, and
Okay.
people not
Well,
not making any sense. I mean, all of these videos talking very confidently about things that they don't know jack about. So it gives me a headache. It doesn't take long for my
would you
head to hurt.
would you like would you like to cite an example?
I will admit that I can't give you a specific example, but there have been many of these that I have seen on Instagram, that it's always some younger kind of like millennial or Gen Z uh, basically they talk about things very confidently that they don't know about, or things that have to do with rainbow alternate lifestyles that I'm not a part of. So I don't wanna see some kid lecturing me about something that they're confused about. So that I'll stay away from that. There is too much of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to admit, I mean, some of the stuff that on TikTok is it's pure garbage. Some of it it's not. But you know what it is? It's like you have to like go through the debris to find the
Mm.
gems, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, you have to like dig. You have to dig for anything that is worthwhile. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just that I don't have the time for it. I mean, I already little whatever little time that I have is between YouTube and some Instagram, and that's good enough for me. I mean, I know that for some people, TikTok can be very addictive. No, I'm not trying to get into that. No, not trying to. I mean, there's too much mess there.
Okay. No, I get it. I get it. I'm like, it's not for everybody. Okay.
No, no.
And so what do you think about what Irby has to say? He says, and that's all social media platforms, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, all of these other platforms can be can be cesspools, can be cesspools of garbage. It's just that, from my understanding, TikTok takes it to another level. Of course, Instagram is basically advertisement for three or fours. There is a lot of that going on Instagram. I can't. It's hard to dodge it because that's what it is. Instagram is a lot of advertising for the three or fours.
Um, are you saying, Ramon, that some of the ladies tend to be somewhat
Tend to be what?
somewhat loose when it comes to morals?
Well, somewhat is putting it mildly. I mean, well, some of them are too desperate for attention. I mean, the, there are advertisements for their OnlyFans, basically, which is something that I will never get into.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's kind of like, you know what? In every platform, you're going to see gems and you're going to see garbage. I
Yeah.
mean, but it seems like certain platforms, there's more garbage than gems. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, that's why I try to limit the consumption. I'll admit there are certain things on Instagram that are interesting, that are funny, and yeah, yeah. And but the main platform that I use is actually YouTube, because in the you can find a lot of there is a lot trash also on YouTube, but in the middle of the YouTube of the trash of YouTube, you can also find um, other platforms like this one, or like from our friends that we can interact with, and we can have an information exchange, and we can have an exchange of points of view, which is a good thing. I mean, being able to interact with people with different from different parts of the country, or maybe even other parts of the world. Um, yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying, Irby.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not that hard to find. I will admit. I mean, the websites where there are videos of adult entertainment are out there. Why pay for OnlyFans? I mean, that's stupid. Because there are it's the Sims. It's The Sims. I mean, that they actually maybe they have been to strip clubs or have never been to strip clubs, and they think that by paying a 3 or 4 on OnlyFans that they're getting to know her, or they're gonna get her to like him. Those kids are confused. They need counseling. They need mentoring, I should say. But they're wasting their time. These women don't care about them. They don't realize it.
Yeah.
Something that I wanted to ask
Well,
you. You were
remember,
mentioning.
Ramon,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
wait. No, you say I need to remember what?
Okay. Different suggested I go to a strip club and bring a whole bunch of ones and $5 bills and let the ladies do their thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go to strip clubs. I mean, I only went to a strip club like a couple of times, and that was back in the 2000s. I mean, I never got into that. I mean, I did it a couple of times because I was with friends and we were hanging out. It was a different thing, but I wouldn't do it today.
Okay. I just want to acknowledge the fact that Falana is a good evening, and now she has her own YouTube channel. So, and she actually did a stream about a month ago. So let's show a little bit love for Falana and subscribe to her channel.
Okay. Hey, Fulana. Hey, I didn't know. It was about time that you had a stream, did a little something on a platform. I'm gonna check your channel out, see what you got.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Strip clubs? No. Jose strip club. Yeah, but Denise was saying something a while back that she wanted you to go to strip clubs and do your thing because you're getting old and something about along those lines.
Yeah, it's like
Morena got you doing live streams.
Yeah.
Good.
Wow.
That's a good thing.
Well, you know what? It's about time. And I think you should do it more often, Fulana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you were saying.
Yeah, by all means, Irby, do that.
Uh-huh.
It's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Finish. You can finish what you were saying, and I wanted to ask something.
No. Go ahead, Ramon. No.
You were saying something.
By all means.
You were talking about somebody that was getting unfair criticism. Who were you talking about? I didn't catch that.
Okay. Well, actually, I was talking about where someone had decided to upload, past streams on the platform, and how people were, getting all butthurt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a right to do whatever they wish on their own platform, and that the fact if you do not like the content, you're not obligated to watch it.
Okay, but you were saying somebody specific who was getting unfair backlash.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm talking about tomorrow's stream, which was the backlash that Ebony K. Williams had received regarding her remarks.
Okay. Well, you already talked about that whole notion when it comes to her statements. It's whatever. I mean, she can have her preferences all she wants, but remember, she was somebody who had a major opportunity. She was engaged to what they actually call a higher value man, and she messed it up. She admitted to it. It's on her. It is entirely on her. There is really nothing else to say. I mean, she can keep it.
I know.
The thing is that there are certain women that they get older and their standards go up. Many of these women are trying to compete with women half their age, that they could be their daughters, because they kind of like see themselves as younger women. They don't want to admit the fact that they are already of a certain age and they need to kind of like date accordingly. They want to be in competition with younger women for the same men, and that's not necessarily going to work so well for them. I mean, yeah, they can keep trying, they can keep having their standards, but they're going to find themselves to be in their 60s and still having these ridiculous standards that they don't really qualify for. I mean, they're having standards for certain men that they don't really qualify for, because those guys are gonna go with somebody younger. I mean, and of course, because of the shaming language of these days. I mean, a man trying to go with for somebody somewhat younger, he's being called a pervert. He's being called a creep. It's not, for the most part. Okay, there are exceptions where that could be it, but for the most part, that has to do with fertility. A man who is self-made, who is successful, he's gonna want to be with a woman who's just maybe a few years younger than him, because of the whole fertility thing. I mean, it's- women generally understand these things, because that has been happening for the longest, for the whole thing in humanity. It's been happening for the longest time, because when it comes to fertility, the window is a bit smaller for women. That's why there is the whole thing about the biological clock. I mean, and yes, because of modern medicine, women have been able to extend their window, their fertility window. Of course, they have. But that doesn't apply to everyone. I mean, the regular women need to stop seeing themselves as the celebrities that have all of the access to all of the resources to being able to have kids when they're like 50 or something like that. I mean, not most women are not Halle Berry. I mean, she could pull it off. Most women can't
But you
do
know,
that.
but you know, mhm, yeah. But you know what's the problem is? It's perfectly acceptable for women, even women that are physically out of shape, or they have a lot of baggage, so to speak, to state that they have preferences regarding who they want to date and who they want to choose as a significant other. But if a man does it, it's like, oh, well, it's like he should be crucified. I mean, and there is a double standard, okay? And one thing we all have to be mindful of, we have to be mindful of who we are. Um, you know, not all of us are tens, not all of us are fives, some of us are threes and fours, okay? And we have to be realistic. And as we get older, our options become less. I
Mhm.
mean, everyone can have a preference, and that's not a problem. The thing is, we have to be realistic of who we are, so to speak, and what we can expect as far as a possible spouse, and that's the problem today. you know, and women and men to a certain extent have.
Jose?
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Now,
yeah, you got disconnected for a
now I
moment. I
don't
didn't hear.
know. Okay, but let's change the subject a little bit.
Mhm.
Of course, there was in our group in Instagram talking about certain people who who are 80 years old and they still want to run for elected office, and that
Mhm.
I said, well, you know what, no one should be over 60 and running for political office. And I'll say, first of all, I'm too old myself. I'm 60 years old. So by
Yeah.
that criteria, I should not be running for office. But we have someone like Biden who's 80 years old and Trump who's like 75 or 76 and other people who are in their 70s running for political office. I mean,
Mhm.
as a person gets older, their faculties decline. Would you say that's an
Mhm.
accurate assessment?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, out of both of them, I'll admit that Trump may be the one who's still fairly sharp, relatively. Okay, I'm not talking about this some messed up things that he says. I'm talking about that him be able to have a dialogue with people and somewhat being aware of what he's talking about, even though either he lies or he really don't know what he's talking about certain things in certain instances. Now, Biden does seem like he's being like he shouldn't run for re-election. I don't think he should. I don't think he should. I don't think he's in condition to to be there. But remember, he's lifelong. Biden has had a long career. He's been in political office since before I was born, and I'm an old man myself. And by the time I was born, he was already in political office. I mean, he's been there for a long time. But what happens with many of these politicians is that they get a taste of power and they don't want to let it go. Look at Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein is like pushing 90 years old, and he doesn't want to retire. He doesn't want to step down. He doesn't want to retire, and she's having to be wheeled into 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 the Capitol building. She's having to be wheeled on a wheelchair because she's so elderly and so infirm. But she doesn't want to retire. She doesn't want to quit. It's because of the whole thing about power. I mean, when somebody has been in power for so long, political office in the U.S. holds a lot of power. And that's what it is. I mean, Dianne Feinstein would rather kill over than give up the power. And Joe Biden may be the same thing. The same thing for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, these are people that are pushing like 80 years old. Biden is pushing 80 years old. I think Nancy Pelosi is 80 years old. Trump he got a taste later in life for political
I think she's past 80.
power. Now that he's in his 70s, he got a taste for hell. He was president, of course. He got a big taste of power, so he wants to get it back. He wants to get back in there. Um, but Biden, I don't know. He's already been in political office. He's been in power for so long, and he shouldn't run again. He's not fit because he's proven it that he's not in condition to do that. The same thing was happening with Hillary Clinton when she was trying to run for president. I remember that video in which she was kind of like a campaign rally or something like that. She had to be helped getting into the car because she almost fell down. She was having trouble walking. I mean, I don't know how old she is. I don't think she's 80 years old, but still, some of these politicians are very old, and they need to kind of like step aside. I mean, they have already been in power for so long. They have already secured pensions, not to mention whatever else monetarily that they have been securing. I mean, because the lobbying, the whole lobbying thing that involves a lot of money. I mean, it's corruption, it's bribery, corruption with a different name. But somebody like Biden, yeah, he shouldn't run again. He should give it up and maybe start kind of like trying to find out who's gonna be running for their respective parties. I don't know. I don't know about Trump running again. I guess he could, but recently he lost a civil case. And he owes $5 million to somebody. I mean, he was held liable for somebody being assaulted. Okay, I mean, it wasn't a criminal trial, but it was a civil lawsuit, and he lost. That doesn't look good.
Mhm.
Somebody who wants to run for president again, and again the whole thing with Dianne Feinstein, like she needs to give it up. She needs to let it go. She wants to kill
Well,
over in office. Mhm.
well, actually, believe it or not, our friend Brotep actually suggested that I should run for president.
Who?
Brotep.
Oh, uh, I don't know about all that. Okay, well, he can do that, I guess.
Okay. Okay, but with all due respect, I'm too old.
Mhm.
So if I'm too old, definitely Biden is too old. Trump is too old. Bernie Sanders is too old. Anyone that's older than me is too old. So I'm too old. So if I'm too old, Biden's too old.
Yeah, well, Bernie Sanders is somebody who I wish he would have run back in like 2004 or so, because he was one of the people that were against he was against the Iraq invasion. He was against that, but he was always an independent, as an independent senator for Vermont. Yeah, Fulana. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wish he would have run for president back in 2004 instead of it being John Kerry. I mean, because he didn't run a very good campaign, and there was also the campaign of fear from the Bush campaign. They ran a campaign of fear of an invasion of terrorists. That's what it was about. So that's how he ended up getting reelected. It was a campaign of fear. There weren't any real facts when it came to that, and we needed to invade Iraq, even though there were no weapons of mass destruction, as it was shown, and that was authorized because of that presentation that the late Colin Powell did to the UN, which turned out to be a lie. I mean, he was using faulty information, and that damaged his reputation beyond repair. I mean, people don't talk about it; they don't remember him now. Unfortunately, he passed away from COVID. But yeah, he really put his foot in his mouth on that one.
Well, actually, believe it or not, he was the last Republican to win with a majority of the popular vote, as long as the Electoral College. I mean, because Trump won. The only reason why Trump won in 2016 was the Electoral College, but not in the popular vote.
Yeah, and Hillary Clinton had the popular vote, but that's not the popular vote is not the one that decides. It's the Electoral College, and that went Trump's way.
Yeah, but you know what would be my platform if I was to run for president?
What's that?
Let's make America cold again.
No, don't start. No, don't, Jose. Don't start. Because I'm already, I'm already kind of enjoying the fact that it's warming up down here in Texas. I mean, I just hope it doesn't get too hot. But yeah, it's warming up, and that's nice. I love it.
Well, you know, I'm still counting down the days until the first day of winter.
No, no, don't count that. No, 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 no. Let it be. Let it be warm. Let it be nice and warm. We all need warmth. I mean, we all need the sunlight. It's necessary to.
I
No,
mean,
we
we
need
can
it.
have. I mean, we can have the sunlight. You know. If I had complete climate control, we will never have global warming again.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Just think about it.
No, no, there is nothing to think about. I mean, I like my warm weather. That's the thing. That's the thing because you haven't been to the Caribbean for a significant amount of time. You can't appreciate it. But when you are in the in the tropical weather, um, and that's perfection. That's the way it should be. Yeah.
Um, Fulana said it's chilly tonight. I
Fulana,
don't
you
know
also in New
how.
York?
It's 57 degrees outside New York.
Yeah, that's chilly. Just
I
chilly.
think she's
57
like,
degrees. It is chilly. Hmm.
oh, that's
Yeah.
that's Indian summer.
No, no, no. It needs to be. It needs to be like down here. Down here is around 82 degrees. That's nice. That's wonderful.
No,
But
no.
you,
It'd be
yeah, yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Well, believe it or not, last week they have the air conditioning on in my job,
Hmm. Why is that?
and people were complaining like wimps. It was too cold.
Yes, if it's cold outside, why do you need to have the air conditioner on inside, indoors? Like what the hell?
I mean, come on. I mean, well, believe it or not, I was happy.
Okay, yeah, maybe you were, but nah, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. I hate it when it's like February and we have to deal with
Well,
that with the 1 day of snow that we usually get in February. I mean, I hate it. That's the worst. That's the worst day of the year when we have to do we have to deal with 1 day of snow usually. But
okay. Good
yeah, yeah, yeah.
night.
It's
Yeah, good night,
catastrophic.
Irby. Thank you very much. Yeah, good night, Irby. Thank you much for stopping by. But I was happy last week. I was happy. I was happier than
Mm-mm.
pig in slop. The air conditioning was on, and I felt comfortable. I felt cool. I can breathe.
Well, I can't. I can't breathe cold air. It makes me sick. So yeah, you can have it. You can have the cold air. No, for real. You can have it. You can have it. I don't want it.
Anyway, no, I don't want to be selfish about it.
You want to what?
I don't want to be selfish. I gotta share the coolness with people.
No, 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 no need, no need to share. You can have it. You can keep it. Yep.
So, Ramon, when you gonna be doing another stream?
Let's see if I can get something going on tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see. I'm thinking about it. I do have a subject, but I'm trying to make I'm trying to put together a thumbnail for it. I'm having a little bit of difficulty because of the subject matter. It's a little bit um it's a little bit delicate. But that is something that I do wanna talk about. I do have an idea for a live stream, but I'm working on the thumbnail. If I can get a good thumbnail for it, then I'll do it. Let's see what happens tomorrow. If not,
What,
then
yeah, what time you plan? What time you plan to do it?
it will have to be sometime. I don't know, sometime after 6 Central Time in the afternoon. It will have
Okay,
to be
because
something like that. Yeah.
well, I do have a stream, but I can like push it to say 8 o'clock or 8:30 Central Time, so that
No,
way it will.
no. But I wouldn't want you. I wouldn't want you to reschedule anything because I don't know for certain. I don't know for certain if I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. It's just that I'm not 100% certain. So no. You don't have to reschedule anything. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How about
Look up.
yeah.
Look up Fulham put down. Ramon always living on the edge. I can't wait to see the thumbnail.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I remember a way that I could put together because I have to put a couple of pictures together to kind of like a contrast type of thing. But yeah. I'll see. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do and make it happen. Hmm.
Okay. Well, actually, believe it or not, created a new intro for my channel.
Oh yeah.
So let me
Oh, you got it.
just put it on for you.
Mhm. Oh yeah, girl jumping rope. Nice.
So what do you
Yeah, I
think?
know. Yeah, I know. That's all I saw. That's all I saw. A cute girl jumping rope. Yeah. I mean, it did look like you could add a couple of things, some text to it, but yeah, definitely. Do your thing.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing that as a YouTube creator, you do have to like adapt and change the things. One of the things I, try to learn how to do is how to do rebroadcast of past streams. So that's
Hmm.
something because some of those streams were very humorous. But
Hmm.
you gotta improve your game.
All right. Yes. You have to improve. I have to do that myself. I have to be able to figure out this whole thumb making thing. And also, when it comes to certain memes, I find memes and I want to use them for thumbnails, but I can never get them to fit. So I'm trying to figure that out. I have to look into it because there are certain memes that are perfect for the subject, but I
Well,
can't get them
actually,
to fit. Mhm.
yeah. Well, actually, I have an iPhone which I use to create thumbnails.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So, in fact, let me just. In fact, the name of it is called Thumbnail Maker.
Thumbnail maker.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the one that
Okay.
you use for with the kind of like the animation cartoony thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, your. I mean, I can't mistake your thumbnail for anyone else's. So you do something that is original. That's a good thing. No,
Okay.
that's
Well,
good.
and actually, I just learned how to. Yeah,
Mhm.
and actually, I just learned how to share other content on my platform, on my community tab.
Okay.
So while I can do is whenever you do a stream, if you like, I'll share it on my community tab. So therefore, the uncommon folk can partake of your content.
Hmm. I see.
So yeah. So I think at this point we're going to stop to wrap it up. So first of all, I just want to say you shout out to Irby, Fulana Cubana, Gigi, and everybody else in the chat. So now we're going to take final remarks. So now we're going to hear the last words from the lover of cold who wants to go to Alaska in the wintertime in shorts, who wants to go swimming in Orchard Beach on New Year's Day, who naked, who wants to be buried in snow and a golden spear, the introvert Boricua.
Hey, Jose. I appreciate you letting me be up on your platform. And when it comes to this subject, I mean, I don't think there is a much ado about nothing. That whole situation with TikTok in Montana, I don't think it's gonna stay long. I think there's gonna be litigation. There is gonna be a lawsuit, maybe on the federal level, and I think that it's gonna be overturned. I don't think that's gonna stay on because there could be a claim of infringement, of First Amendment infringement, or freedom of information, or freedom of internet access. We know that the government has been trying to regulate that for some time. So that's kind of like, it's going to be part of that battle. Yeah, I don't think that's going to hold up. It may be overturned. So you let me know. I'm sure that you're going to be following that story. But a part of me, I get the impression that that's not going to hold up. It's going to stay like that. And when it comes to it being a security threat, they need to explain how. I mean, you tell me, did they explain how is TikTok a security threat? If they didn't, then they're going to have to get around and talk about it and explain it, because, I mean, they can't just say it's a security threat. Okay, how? How exactly? They need to get around and explain that. And aside from that, then I think that's it. That's all I got. And once again, Don Jose, thank you for having me on and on your platform. And shout out to the chat.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ramon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my final remarks. I will be keeping all of you abreast regarding what happened regarding the situation with the ban. I do agree it's going to be overturned eventually. They need to do a better job of letting us know how this app is a security threat. Again, it could be used for good, it could be used for evil. So that being said, tomorrow night at 8:30, we're going to discuss the backlash regarding Ebony K. Williams' remark regarding the bus driver. Okay, so we're just going to have some discussion. The backlash warranted or is it not warranted? As always, I'm going to give the facts. You decide. Okay. So that being said, and please, people, do not forget to subscribe to the Introvert Boricua, also Fulano Cubana, and Golden Goddess. So that being said, it's been my pleasure to have this discussion with you, all of you. And I'll say what I always say. Let us be good care. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Good night and peace.